Hey guys, in this video, I'll be telling you about food chains and food webs. A keystone species is an organism that has a large impact on an ecosystem relative to its abundance. In the food web shown, the arrows represent the direction that energy is moving and by being consumed and hunted by other predators. Notice that none of the arrows are pointing towards the plants, the autotrophs, at the base of the food web. This is because autotrophs do not consume other organisms, but instead make their own food through photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process which a plant intakes sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to create oxygen and glucose. If the keystone species is the otter, then here's the likely outcome for the other organisms in the habitat. A food web will show a habitat with a high biodiversity. Bio means life, and diversity means differences. Biodiversity means a large group of different types of organisms. A food chain is much more simpler, and only involves a linear pathway of energy being transferred between just a few organisms in an ecosystem, but can be useful in seeing how a limiting factor impacts the population size. A limiting factor is a variable that constrains a population size or slows or stops the growth, and can be abiotic, like non-living, like water or soil or wind, or biotic, like living, diseases, density of food, or competition. In this graph, we see that from 1930 to 1950, aka a 20-year span, of the otter population declined. Now let's talk about energy pyramids. Energy pyramids show the energy gained or lost within the tropic levels in an ecosystem. At the bottom of the food chain are primary producers, like autotrophs, like plants, mosses, and algae. They receive their energy from the sun and turn light energy into food energy for consumers during photosynthesis. Sugar is the main energy substance made by plants that consumers can use for energy. The first consumers are called primary consumers and include all herbivores who can eat vegetation. All consumers above the primary producers are called heterotrophs because they eat others. Another thing is the 10% rule. When an animal eats another animal or a plant, it loses 90% of its energy and it only consumes about 10% of it. The 90% of energy goes away by heat. For example, when a primary consumer eats a primary producer, the energy from the primary producers only transmits about 10% to the primary consumer, and so on. Thank you for watching my video and have a good day.